Okay. Is this in focus? Okay. Is it in focus? It is. Okay. The way I needed my glasses to determine whether that is in focus is so embarrassing. Hi everyone. I hope you are well. My name is Jasmine Kylene. I am a spiritual counselor. I'm a journalist. I'm just a human being having a good time. And today, before I even say anything, I just want to show you. I just want to immediately say that like these are the shorts that I'm wearing. That's it. I hope you are well. I hope you are as well as you possibly can be given the circumstances of existing. I'm so grateful that you are joining me for however many minutes that you watch this video. Feel free to subscribe if you like it or follow me on Instagram, all of the things. So today I am hosting one of my goddess activation workshops, and like a topic that has come up when I was kind of fleshing out the curriculum was finding our purpose through our goddess embodiment, and within that I kind of connected it to finding our purpose through astrology. So I figured why not make a video on this and see if it resonates with anyone, because I think it's something that's just kind of worth knowing a bit about. So before I even get to like sort of the astrological component of it, I want to immediately say something that is very, very, very important to me, which is that we can kind of get trapped, especially in the conditioning we have sort of sheltered our lives under, that our purpose is something that lies within our career, and it's a title, and it's an accolade. It's something that we kind of need to become in order to serve and be seen and all of the things. And it's important to come back to the belief that as long as you are living your life purposefully, your mission is sort of complete. There are many different ways that you can spend your time creating and, you know, making money and all of these things that are worthwhile and fun, but it's important to know that if you're getting stuck in like, what am I supposed to be doing, and I'm wasting my time here on earth if I don't have that figured out, you're kind of missing out on the whole point of this whole thing. Your purpose can absolutely, you know, be derivative of your career, but if you are someone who just wants to like travel and love and be close to people, that can easily be your purpose, right? As long as you are feeding the collective and you're raising the vibration, you're fulfilling what your soul has been put on this earth to do, right? So if that means that you feel fulfillment through healing people, through making music, through connecting with others, through facilitating conversation, through making YouTube videos, then know that like that in itself, just creating from a space of love and pure soul, that in itself is your purpose, rather than like, how am I gonna make this a 9 to 5? How am I gonna have that position? How am I going to, right? I mean, I hope that I'm making sense, but like purpose is something that is so deeply embedded in soul, and not me like remembering the plot of the movie Soul, but like that is very true. You know, our purpose is really just embedded in like us being present and us creating from a space that fulfills us and, you know, connects us to something greater than something. It's not a thing that can be derived from like, you know, accolade and whatever the case may be. So just know that, you know, if you're looking and you're searching for your purpose, come back to what you would have done with your independence when you were a child, right? I think when we were all kids, we really, really, really craved the ability to drive anywhere that we wanted, and to say anything we wanted to do, and put on the clothes that we wanted to put on, and be with the people that we wanted to do, and even express ourselves sexually, right? So knowing that now you have that freedom in this adult vessel, now that you have that independence, how are we going to utilize it in a way that nourishes and honors what that child within you really, really wanted? And I think that is going to connect you the deepest to what your purpose is. When we define success by how society and the matrix has told us it's defined, we can get stuck in cycles that are just going to drain us because we're not actually fulfilling and nourishing our souls. But rather, when we choose to self-define success and honoring the fact that like, you know, what did I want as a child? And maybe as a child you weren't thinking about advancement and followers and money and all of that, but maybe you were just thinking about like what peace and exploration and expression looked like for you. Coming back to the fact that like maybe that's what your purpose is right now. Maybe you're just meant to explore, you're just meant to do, you're just meant to say, and all of those things. Now, I am of course an astrologer, an astrologist. I don't really know which one is the correct term, which is crazy because I literally am it. But if you ever wanted to do a one-on-one to really explore your individual chart and see like, for example, what rules your 10th house, what planets are within your 10th house, and how you can work that to see kind of like what your soul's mission is on this planet, I would be happy to do that, so definitely reach out. But something that I sort of curated for this workshop that I wanted to share with you guys is how do we experience and embody and emit our purpose in accordance with our astrological charts. So your chart is your map, right? Your rising sign is going to tell you how you embody your purpose. Your sun sign is going to tell you how you have fun with your purpose. Your moon sign is going to tell you how you are fulfilled by your purpose. Your Mercury is going to tell you how you express your purpose. Your Venus is going to tell you what we give from our purpose, and your Mars is going to tell you what we get from our purpose. And that is all really much in alignment with like the theme of every part, right? Because your rising sign is kind of how you show up in the world. So of course it's how you embody it. Your sun rules your identity, and within identity, you know, your child kind of lives in your sun, how you have fun and how you express and play through your purpose. Your moon is your emotional world, so of course it's going to rule, you know, how are you actually walking away feeling fulfilled, feeling changed, feeling like you've served through your purpose. Your Mercury rules obviously communication, how we process, how we think, how we express. So it's going to show up in the way in which we actually put our purpose out in the world through our words and through our energy. Venus, you know, the planet of the divine feminine, of healing, of relation, is kind of like, what do we give from our purpose? In what ways are we really putting something from our soul out in the world that is of nurture and of care? And Mars, which is our divine masculine, is going to tell us a little bit about what we get from our purpose, right? Mars rules, like I said, that power, that drive. And so what's going to keep us going is knowing what we're getting from this. So what I want you to do is write down these sentences and leave the blank parts blank, and we'll fill those out as we go in accordance with your chart. But the first thing is, I embody my purpose blank. Imagine me as a school teacher, I just couldn't. It feeds me joy through blank and fulfills me through blank. I express myself through blank. I provide blank and receive blank. And those blanks are going to be filled in with whatever is in accordance with your rising, sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So now that we have an idea of how that's set up, we can kind of check out where our chart falls and where it is in alignment with sort of what I fleshed out in this little chart for you. And you can kind of see, you know, in what way am I supposed to interact with my purpose? In what way is my purpose going to fulfill me the same way that it fulfills the way that I show up in the world? So for example, I'm gonna use my chart as an example. So my rising sign is Sagittarius. It's a fire sign. So I embody my purpose loudly. And that is true, which is indicative by the way that I'm literally screaming right now. But basically what that means is that if you meet me and you talk to me for a couple of moments, it can already be relatively obvious, if I haven't already mentioned it, what it is that I do, or what it is that I'm passionate about, or what it is that actually fuels me and drives me and feels like is my life's mission and my soul's purpose, right? I put it there loudly. If you're an earth rising, it's gonna be a bit more subtle. It's gonna be something that kind of shows up in your movement, in your energy, and sort of like the underlying themes of life. If you're a water rising, it's gonna show up more poetically, right? You're gonna be more romantic with the way that you embody your purpose. And if you're an air sign, it's gonna show up very unconventionally. People are probably not even gonna be able to guess what you do, or it's gonna be so obscure that it's almost obvious because of how different and unconventional you show up in the world. Now, the next sentence is, it feeds me joy through the sun and fulfills me through the moon. So for me, I have an Aquarius sun. So it feeds me joy through soul expression, and fulfills me through, I have a Leo moon, through feeling seen. So breaking that down, it feeds me through sun sign, Aquarius, soul expression, knowing that within the work that I do, I am really being authentic with who I am and what I feel and think to my core. That is really, really important. And for me, that is play. Knowing that like I'm being expressed and being heard and seen is play for me. And it fulfills me through moon, fire sign, so feeling seen. So breaking all of those down, it feeds me joy through, if you're a fire sun, through creative expression, knowing that you're playing and that you're putting something out there that is unique to you and has been created from you. If you're an earth sun, then it's intellectual expression, right? Knowing that you're utilizing your mind, that your intellect is having some sort of role, and that within that you're kind of like, you're playing with the fact that like you know a lot and people are feeding off of that. Emotional expression, right? If you're a water sun, so knowing that, you know, this range and this depth of emotion that you have access to is being fueled and funneled out in what you do. That in itself is a relief. It's just such a relief for a water sun to feel just like emotionally satisfied with what it is that they do. And I've already explained air sign. And it fulfills me through moon. So like I said, I'm a Leo moon, feeling seen. So for me, especially with the Leo moon, I wouldn't say it's narcissism, but like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I know I'm special and I'd like to get recognized for the fact that like I do things differently than you bitches, right? Okay, moving on. But also aside from feeling seen, it's like knowing that like, okay, I'm not crazy and there are others that actually feel the way that I do, and like within that, that's a lot of fun, and I feel fulfilled in knowing that like there's community here. And the same concept kind of goes for an earth moon, right? Earth moons really like to have a tribe. They like to feel fulfilled in knowing that like this is a safe and sacred space for me to be myself. This is a place where I can really express my intellectual mind because it can actually be heard and understood and even adapted, right? If you're a water moon, then you're fulfilled by simply being heard, right? Knowing that when you're experiencing such a range of emotion all the time, knowing that if there's someone that can not only hear that emotion, but also understand it and take it within themselves and mirror that and see it within themselves, that in itself is really fulfilling, especially because if you have like a water moon placement, this is like one of those placements where it's like, oh baby, your inner world is a tsunami, but knowing that like there's other people that experience that alongside you and can give you safe space to do that is really important. And if you're an air moon, then you're fulfilled by knowing that you're challenging norms, you're challenging the narrative, you're challenging the matrix, you're challenging what people have kind of always just abided by. So I express myself through Mercury. So for me, I have a Capricorn Mercury, that is Earth. So I express myself through my words, my written word and my spoken word, and just like the way that I communicate is kind of like, it's my jam. It's the way that I show up in this world, and it is the way that I funnel my purpose out there. You know, I make videos, I write, I do newsletters, I do one-on-ones, and I'm using my words a lot, and I try to make everything that I feel and know as digestible as possible. So like, that's kind of my superpower, right? So if you also have an Earth Mercury, then knowing that like your words really play a fundamental role in who you are is very important. If you have a Fire Mercury, right, your energy, you express yourself through your energy, the way that you show up in the world, the way that you wear your clothes, the way that you style your hair, that in itself plays a huge role in how your purpose is given to others. If you're water, then your heart, you know, I mean, you know, when it comes to like truthfully caring and caring more than just like for the individual, but like also the collective, a water Mercury really knows all about that. You think through the lens of emotion. So a way that you express is through your heart, through your soul, knowing that, you know, honesty is kind of the only way you really can show up in this world, because anything else is difficult and it feels almost foreign. Which, now that I'm thinking about like Scorpio, no, I mean, they're honestly, they're like brutally honest as well. They just may conceal a bit. I think it's different between like lying and concealing, but whatever, that's a whole different thing. And if you are an air Mercury, then you express yourself through your mind, through your intellectual compass. You know, air signs are all about the mind. So it's knowing that like, as long as I am expressing whatever is going on in here, I'm heard, I'm seen, and that is kind of like the whole point. I provide Venus and receive through Mars. So I have a Pisces Venus, unfortunately. So I provide through emotional support, and I receive through, I have an Aquarius Mars, community. And that is very, very, very accurate for me. I provide emotional support because of the fact that I'm literally a counselor, so I kind of hold safe space for people to deconstruct and, you know, decompress and like all of the things. And I receive through community. So knowing that like I have created a safe space where we can all converse and talk and feel seen within another's experience, that in itself is just like, I receive so much and feel so also emotionally fulfilled through that. So that's kind of my thing. If you're a Fire Venus, you provide empower through embodiment. And this one is really, really, really fucking important. And when I show you guys like the celebrities that have these certain placements, you'll kind of see it in action. But like, if you have a Fire Venus, your mission is to be the change that you want to see. It's to be the mission that you are. So like, you empower others through providing an example and through giving them permission to do the same. So just like be this like loud, eccentric, expressive, charming version of who you are out loud and like in bold and italics. And that is going to be the way that you communicate and provide. If you're an Earth Venus, you're gonna give people a safe space. You're gonna give people a calm, an anchor, a grounding. You're gonna give people permission through just like having the space for them to feel seen and heard, which I feel like I've been saying the same words like in different ways. Like I've said seen and heard and safe space a million times, but like it's very like important, I think. So just, I don't know, whatever. I'm sorry if you're annoyed. And if you have an Air Venus, you provide change through influence. So knowing that because of the fact that you're such a forward thinker and you think outside of the lines and you think in a way that's eccentric, you are sort of changing the narrative. You're thinking ahead of everyone else. You're kind of already where people are going to eventually evolve to. So you're pushing people to get there. And you receive through Mars. So for instance, community, like I said, the fact that I just have, or rather that I've been able to mirror and thus attract like-minded people and people who also are in this like path of exploration and vulnerability is really, really important to me. And that's kind of how I receive. If you are a fire Mars, recognition and praise, and ain't no shame in it, baby. Yes, okay, you're talented and you want to be seen and recognized and praised for it. And honestly, I don't think that that's an issue at all. I feel like, well, once you see the celebrities that have these placements, it'll make sense. And you receive through Earth, right? So stability and tangible exchange. Honestly, an Earth Mars really just wants to make sure that there's solid ground beneath them. So if in exchange for the way that you show up in the world, you're getting a consistent amount of income and you're getting a home beneath you and you're getting whatever security looks like for you, that's just a really like solidifying feeling. So just like, you know, recognize and make sure that you act in accordance with how your chart kind of shows up in this world. If you're water Mars, you receive through fulfillment and connection. So like I said, it's this idea that as long as you are heard and you are seen and you're fulfilled and knowing that like others have actually paid attention and can understand what you've expressed, that in itself is sort of like your bread and butter, right? Especially a water Mars is all about growth and humanity and service. So knowing that like that is in a safe space and has been put in a safe space is just like all I think a water Mars would really need. So here are some celebrity examples, and you can refer back to like the different examples that I already showed so that you can kind of get it. But I mean, like, I think that there is no more like obvious fire Mars than Serena Williams and Kim Kardashian, to be real with you. You know, a fire Mars I received through recognition and praise. You know what I mean? Like all those accolades, all those followers, that's recognition and that's praise, right? And air Venus, so I provide through change and influence. I mean, Missy Elliott and Beyonce are both people who just embody doing things differently and doing things the way that is natural to them, and through that they've influenced and changed the game and paved the way for so many artists behind them. So I mean, that one just literally obvious. Where's Taylor Swift? Earth Mercury. So I express myself through Earth Mercury, my words. I mean, Taylor Swift and Sade are both, you know, incredibly talented songwriters who have been able to encompass emotion and experience through their words, and thus have really been able to express their inner world and let a lot of other people feel seen and within their own community. So that makes a lot of sense. And honestly, all of these make sense. I mean, like Kamala and Nicki Minaj being fire Mercuries, like literally Harry Styles being an air Mars, like what else could you even possibly, like Marie Kondo being an Earth Mars, are you literally joking? Marie Kondo being an Earth Mars, are you literally joking? I received through stability and tangible exchange. She literally she coined being organized. Like, are you joking? So yeah, I think it's important that if we have more of like a clear and just like, if we have clarity in the ways in which we want to experience our purpose, the way we want to embody and emit it and thus receive through it, we can kind of like wire our lives to mirror that. So I hope that this served you. I hope that this was kind of like new information that you get to play with a little bit. And now that you have this statement for yourself kind of written down, you can, I don't know, build your career or your hobbies or the ways in which you want to creatively express in alignment with your purpose, in accordance to it. So if you ever want to do something one-on-one, I encourage you to reach out. But otherwise, I'm so grateful you watched. Feel free to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and that's it. I hope you have an amazing life. Bye.